It's too late. Hello, hello. To my audience, hello. Alright, Higarashi. Guess I'm doing the meta post first, because why the hell not? Yeah. Oh crap. I forgot to grab the link. Good for me. Copy link. That's fine, doesn't look like anyone's watching me right now, but that could change in a heartbeat. Paste. Post. Yep, posted. Awesome. Next step, Instagram. 2 birds, 1 stone. And let's go here. And share. And done. I gotta check out the ProJart thing later. Come here, threads. I also need to post. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Everything's fine there. Now for Discord. Okay. God, I hope I'm not coming down with something. That would suck. Okay. So everything should be okay. Now to go back to Twitch. Hello to my one viewer. I'm just making sure people are aware that I am successfully online and so on. There we go. Self-promoting on social media is almost done. Good for me. And now we will get started. On Higarashi when they cry. Just gonna pull up the chat real quick. Yay. Alright. And let's get started. Oh, I only have one loaded file. Yeah, because it was the first start of the first. Dinner time soon. Dinner at Keiichi's house. Mipa. Mika-chan, you're in such a good mood. That's a pretty big difference from Sadako. Sadako isn't in a bad mood at all. She's enjoying herself more than she has in a long time. Enjoying herself? Seriously? She's like how she was when her Nini was with her. It really has been a long time since I've seen Sadako look like she's having so much fun. Nini? What the heck is Nini? Hello, welcome to stream. Is it a sound cats make? Nini means brother. Sadako's older brother. Sadako's older brother? His name is Satoshi. Haven't you heard his name before? Satoshi. Satoshi Hojo? Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. At least he didn't go to our school.
Satoshi, huh? Sadako's older brother. That's the first time I've heard of him. She had a brother? Huh? I didn't know that.
She does have one. Saying that, Rika-chan grinned
Even more brightly, and went, Nipa! Again. Hey, Padme.
When Sadako was with Satoshi, she always looked like she was having fun, just like this. It really has been a long time since I've seen Sadako enjoy herself this much. However, I looked at it, she seemed to be in a bad mood, but her good friend Rika-chan was saying that it was actually the opposite. Yep, I see you, Padme Cat. She must be remembering the time she spent with her Nini. It's nostalgic.
Nostalgic? Huh. Then does he live apart from Sadako? Maybe Sadako's older brother Satoshi is actually a lot older than her. He must have gone off on his own and was living by himself far away. Sadako seems like she got along well with this Satoshi person.
She did. Two of them got along very well.
She spread her arms wide to demonstrate the width of how well they got along. According to Rika-chan, Sadako supported her docile, slightly unreliable older brother through nagging. That was their relationship. I see. That certainly applied to the current situation. We had me, unreliable, unable to cook even a single dish properly, and Sadako, who redid it while scolding me. Could Sadako have been getting a glimpse of her brother, who now lived far away, through me? Oh, it's so much more than that, at Keiichi. Part of this is partially why you got to deal with what was in the last arc. So she would always nitpick whatever she did? But she firmly supported him and they got along well?
Today she suggested we go to Keiichi's house.
She said, there's no way the unreliable Keiichi-san could possibly make dinner. We need to go make it for him. Then she didn't come here to get revenge or to get even or anything like that.
She couldn't leave you alone.
Even now,
Satoko is a proper little sister.
I was an only child. I don't know how it felt to have siblings. And that's where Keiichi and my viewpoints differ greatly. I have a younger brother. Of course, I never had a little sister like Sadako, but I felt that in the moment I was an older brother obediently and helplessly being looked after by her, without any teasing or messing around. Without any, I'm going to give thanks to her trouble. That's what I honestly thought. Keiichi-san, do you know where on earth the ladle is? Sorry. The ladle should be in the drawer to your right. I ran into the kitchen, got the ladle out of the drawer, and offered it to Sadako. It's all done. Have you put the bowls and things out? Yeah, everything's a-okay. And let us have our meal. Rika, it's time for dinner. Me. I heard Rika-chan's effervescent voice coming from the dining room. Sadako turned off the gas flame on the stove and lifted the pot of miso soup. This time not completely ruined and burnt. Could you bring the rice cooker, Keiichi-san? Be careful not to flip it over, okay? Right, I'll be careful. I can carry the rice cookers just fine without being warned about it. I thought about replying like that, but I decided not to. No mean words or witty retorts today. Well, yeah, the girl's literally feeding you. Rice with steam billowing from it and miso soup, as well as a handful of side dishes. On the table was a truly firm, family-oriented dinner. It wasn't weird at all or extravagant. It was a daily meal of sorts a housewife would make. It was very nonchalant and brimming with liveliness. Then let us eat. Honestly, this is probably the nicest Sadako's been to Keiichi in all the timelines. Thanks for the food. At Sadako's command, Rika-chan and I both thanked her in a very loud voice. I made light of you, Sadako. You've beaten me soundly. Oh, oh, oh. Do you have a better opinion of me now? I may still not be as good as Rika or Rene-san, but I can cook far better than the helpless Keiichi-san. Yeah, I know better. After I honestly admitted my defeat, Sadako's expression finally softened, and she laughed with a normally loud and cheerful voice. Chomp, chomp. Oh, the rice is cooked really well. Though she used the rice cooker, it tastes a little different from the rice my mom made, which maybe she used a different amount of water for it? Even so, I could feel Sadako's personality from the rice and made it taste better than usual. The miso soup was a little on the thick side, but it was delicious. The side dishes, while not exactly flashy, tasted great as well. It was all appetizing, and I couldn't stop eating. The side dishes are well done too. Sadako, you're not a bad cook at all. I gave my honest impression without a hint of sarcasm. Sadako seemed to have been expecting some because when I praised her so honestly, she got flustered immediately. Oh, your praises honor me, but it's nothing so grand. The side dishes are just things I bought at the store and heated up. This and this, all I did was open a can. I can only make rice and miso soup myself. Sadako said, embarrassed, her face a bit flushed. There was none of her normal verbal abuse or sarcasm in there either. I can't make anything except rice and miso soup, but when you get ready-made side dishes and put them on the table too, it turns into fairly splendid. My mom uses really ready-made dishes and canned goods too. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's a fantastic dinner. I gave her honest praise. I never met Sadako's brother, but Satoshi probably praised her in the same way. Hmm, Well, I suppose it's enough that you come to realize I can hold my own in the kitchen. Would you like seconds? There's plenty of miso soup still left. Huh? Did that brat just awkwardly change the subject? When I realized my response had been on the mark, it made me a little happy. When we eat rice like this, it's fun, like we're eating with Satoshi. Rika mentioned Sadako's older brother's name again. Sadako's chopsticks paused, and she looked up at the ceiling. How nostalgic. I wonder if he could be doing what he could be doing right now. She had a faraway smile, as if yearning for a friend who had moved away. Yeah, I suspect the next story arc will actually be about Satoshi a lot, but for now, I think this one's going to be more about Sadako in the same way that the last arc we did was more about the Sonozaki twins. From how it looked, I got the impression she hadn't seen Satoshi in quite some time. For those of you that watch this that have not seen the other arcs, I do have them over on my YouTube channel at Darth Gigas at youtube.tv. They're just my YouTube channel is kind of a mess. I need to organize them into playlists, but it's all there in case people need to catch up. Sadako realized I was giving her a blank stare. I do apologize. Satoshi is my Nini. No, my older brother. Okay, I see. Nini must have been a nickname only Sadako used for him. It was funny to see her hastily deny it. I was rather surprised a person with such few living skills had the ability to run away. Well, I'm sure he'll pack up a shop at some point and return out of the blue. So he ran away? There was another story to what Sadako had said so cheerfully. The reason for Satoshi not living with her was a little serious. Everyone had been talking in such an upbeat way. So I continued to talk about it. Should I not have broached the subject at all? I hastily looked at Sadako's face after thinking that, and there was no trace of gloomy expression I'd been worried about. Well, he's not old enough to be dreaming of living on his own. Nini wouldn't be able to do it for a long anyway. He has no endurance. Satoshi may not look like it, but he's a very persevering person. He's a lot more persevering than you think. Rika, you always take Nini's side right away. You're a little too nice to him.
Sadako's just too harsh on Nini. You should treat her more kindly when he comes back.
Sadako and Rika's views regarding Nini, aka Satoshi, were parallel to each other. But I could easily tell both of them really liked him. They were so optimistic too. Even though he had run away from them, it was like they were going to see him again next week. Sadako and Rika-chan both liked Satoshi, even now, and waited for him, believing he surely would return. Yeah. Honestly, Satoshi's story is one of the parts of the anime I remember very clearly, and I'm kind of looking forward to showing that to my audience when that pops up. I never met him, but I know for sure that Satoshi person was a really good guy. I thought Sadako would be deeply hurt by her brother anyway, but she already overcame it. Aw, that's adorable, Padme. I thought Sadako didn't think through anything and just frolicked and played practical jokes every day, and that was it. No, Sadako's actually fairly more complex than just the trap master brat person. She actually does have reasons for what she does. But she really was a lot of dots. Yeah. Why are you petting my head? I roughly rubbed a hand through Sadako's hair. I misunderstood you, Sadako. I didn't know you were this level-headed. Sadako seemed to think I was making fun of her and tried to bat my hand away, but then she saw there wasn't a trace of malice on my face and immediately granted me her head. Yep, Sadako's level-headed. She sure is. I've been level-headed from the start. I was just playing pranks on you because you always do it to me. There was her usual provocation, but I decided not to buy into it today. You're right. You were just doing it along with me. You're really so level-headed. Good for you. Is that actually a compliment? Kinda seems like you're making fun of me. I'm not trying to make fun of you at all. I'm seriously complimenting you. Because if I was making fun of you, Rika-chan would be petting your head too. That's right, isn't it? When Rika makes fun of people, she usually pets their head. Meep! These canned sardines are delicious. Rika-chan went, Nika! And her smile became even brighter. Her attitude was clear as day, but it was annoyingly cute, so both Sadako and I suddenly burst into laughter. That laughter lightened up the table. The table itself was so dull and simple that I could never thought people would be laughing like this around it. And then I finally came to realize something very obvious. Dinner is better if you're laughing while you're eating, huh? Again, this is why I watch a lot of comedy stuff on YouTube when I eat, so I can laugh. Of course it is. Laughing makes it taste better. And this is why restaurants aren't completely dead either. How rude. The food is good because I'm a good cook, obviously. This harmonious moment, this happy circle, it was completely different from spending time with family, but still somewhat nostalgic. Sadako, do you want to see Nini? I didn't say Nini. Call my brother, please. Hey, wait, you've been saying Nini this and Nini that this whole time. I couldn't rightly decide to just call him brother like she told me to. Sadako, do you want to see your brother? Rika-chan stopped eating and looked back and forth between my face and Sadako's. Sadako was smiling like she was trying to choose her words carefully. Just from that, Sadako conveyed her feelings. Honestly, she wished he could come home right now, but she wasn't that weak. Sadako should just do what he wanted until he was satisfied. In return, she'd let him have the scolding of a lifetime. And then she'd have dinner with him and lay out his futon for him. Well, of course, I want to see him again. It's just almost a year. It's been that long already? Rika-chan smiled thinly, her eyes appearing to look far away. Well, Nini can do what he wants. It would lighten my load if he came back with more muscle and knowing how to do housework, of course. See? You said Nini again. You said it. I did not. I never call Nini Nini. Yeah, she was very attached to her older brother before he disappeared. Kind of makes you wonder how he disappeared. Like, I know the answer, but I'm keeping that away because that would be spoilers. But nothing about Sadako's feelings. Then, there, I started at the wrong spot. Things rapidly returned to the usual lively atmosphere of lunchtime at school, but nothing changed about Sadako's feelings towards her brother. She was living so bravely and strongly, so strongly. Hey, Sadashi, your sister's trying hard to watch the place while you're gone, isn't she? Give it a rest and come back soon, got it? If only he could. Sadako, it's time to clean up or else we will get sleepy. It was when we were all watching TV while enjoying some tea after dinner. Rika-chan let out a big yawn, then spoke. Sadako and I both looked at the clock and noticed how late it had gotten. No, perhaps we both realized it already. We didn't want this warm moment to end. Maybe we didn't want to say anything. Oh, this will not do. I still haven't washed the dishes yet. Don't worry about it. I can do that much at least. You made a great dinner. I can't let you do that dishes too. Are you sure you'll be all right when people are not used to trying to wash them? The soap could make the dishes slip out of your hands, you know. Gee, she's turned into the perfect nagging little sister. It was charming and awkward. Emotions like that were all mixed up inside me. I gave her a vaguely dry smile. Katie can at least wash dishes. If you break one and hurt yourself, I'll give you pennies to school tomorrow. Rika-chan yawned again, so wide you could see her molars. Is it really all right? Keiichi-san's pretty unreliable despite how he looks. Give me a break. Looks like Keiichi's approval rating has plummeted in Sadako's mind. Don't worry. I'll clean those dishes up, no problem. So don't worry about them going home. Actually, at this hour, I can't let you two go home by yourselves. Ac- ac- yeah, I'll take you there. Let me find the key for my bike. Once you take us home, Keiichi-san, Keiichi-san will be the one to go home by himself. You'll be in big trouble if you get lost on the roads at night and end up in Takasudo. There's no house lights or lights out there at all. I was trying to worry about them going home, but I didn't think they'd be worried about me getting lost. Am I really that unreliable? She really is being critical, but yeah, this feeling I have, it's not bad. Sleepover? Question mark? So I am not needing to escort them. I saw Sadako and Rika-chan to the gate. Thanks a lot for today. Thanks to you, I got a good cultural meal. If Sadako hadn't come, Keiichi would be growling and yowling right now. No, Keiichi would be homeless and probably shivering, unless the burned down house would warm him. Truly, it really is good that we came. They really saved me. I gave them another bow filled with gratitude. Oh, yes. I put rice and side dishes into containers so you can use them for your bento tomorrow. And for breakfast, you can eat some bread and jam. Strawberry jam and peanut butter in your refrigerator in the little shelf to the right. Oh, I love peanut butter and jam sandwiches. Ugh. Cocoa powder, too, in the upper right door of the cupboard. I know all that. You don't have to go into detail. I was about to say that, but decided to humbly listen to her. It was then I realized that Sadako, who appeared to be in a bad mood, was in fact in a great mood, one, just like Rika-chan had said, and thought that she nagged a lot, but she was very kind. Then good night. Make sure to brush your teeth before you go to bed. You have to do at least 5 minutes. I got it, Sadako. I'll brush my teeth and make breakfast tomorrow. And I'll be sure not to forget the bento. You need to wake up earlier than usual, or you won't be able to get your breakfast or bento ready. Got it? If you like, I can give you a call earlier to wake you up instead of using your alarm clock. You don't have to go that far. I'll set my alarm to wake me up a little early. Thanks for being so concerned about me. Sadako looks like she was more fault finding to do. But she stopped, leaving me with a good night and got her bike on her bike and disappeared down the nighttime road. Rika-chan went to do the same, but then remembered something and came back. What's wrong, Rika-chan? Did you forget something? Keiichi, you get 100 points for today. Clap, clap, clap. Rika-chan suddenly complimented me. She clapped her small hands. What was on about that? I didn't do anything worthy of praise, did I? I nearly burned down the house after all. Sadako probably felt like her Nini had come home. I think she was having a lot of fun too. Okay. Once in a while, I want you to go along with Sadako's scolding in the future. Are you telling me to be like an older brother so she can scold instead of Sadashi? Rika-chan didn't say anything, she just smiled and went, Ipa! It's interesting. First arc, we were hanging out with more Rena as Keiichi. Second arc, it was Shion and Neon. Third arc, now it's Rika and Sadako. This Sadashi person, he has such a great little sister. What was he unhappy about? If I were Sadashi, I would never have to run away from home. Sadashi had his own circumstances, I'm sure. I didn't know what he was unhappy with. Whatever the reason, it was no excuse for abandoning Sadako. I hope he comes back soon. I probably can't play the role of her actual Nini forever, you know. It's okay. You're just like Sadashi today. Please do it again sometime. If that's what would make Sadako happy. I take on this easy role whenever I needed to. Rika! Sadako stopped her bike under a distant exterior light and called out to her friend who wasn't coming no matter how long she waited. Okay, I have to go. Good night. Yeah, good night. I can't replace Sadashi, but Keiichi could do it. It's one less piece of baggage I need to shoulder. Leaving me with that, Rika-chan sped off on her bike. She rode next to Sadako, the two of them disappeared in a blink of an eye. Satoshi, seriously, come back soon, got it? Come home really late, I'll punch you right in the nose. Let's try our best until that day comes, Sadako. Even I could no longer hear the sounds of their bicycles. I stood there for a while seeing them off. Yeah. Unfortunately, Satoshi's situation is more complicated than what Keiichi assumes. New tips, Sadako Trap Course Elementary. Oh boy. Is this our first tips of the day of this playthrough? Apparently so. I know one thing for sure. Sadako could fend off an entire army division by holding up in this mountain. I know all about it. Sadako was one of the Soviet military advisors that gave training on traps to that one country. Stop saying weird things and somebody help me. How did it come to this? What traps did we fall for, and how did we fall for them? Mion was caught in a profusely thin pitfall she couldn't escape from, or only her head was poking above the ground. Brenda's head was completely covered by a tin bucket. She was squirming around in vain attempt to remove it. Either of these were really funny, but that's where it ended. At least they had their feet on the ground. Keiichi, what about you? I think I can get out of that. Hurry up and get out so we can save this old man. You're the one who should be breaking out and saving me, Mion. What do you expect me to do in this freaking bamboo mat? I was trapped in a bamboo mat and hanging 2 meters off the ground. How did she set that up? What was this trap and how did I fall into it? Huh? It was Sadako. It all started when they suggested I was unfamiliar with nature, having grown up in the city and proposed a little exploration on the mountain. But Rena doesn't really know how it is back there either. Rena might get lost. How? The mountain out back, huh? I played there a lot when I was little, but I haven't gone there for years. If you get lost out there, things get pretty dangerous. You can leave the mountain to us. In this hole, the whole thing is our playground. Isn't that right, Rika? Meow. Oh, I see. How reassuring. We'll defer to you two this time, and you have to be our tour guides. Really, you're gonna trust the two youngest members of your group? Okay.
Wait, Keiichi-kun! The summer vacation guidebook says not to play in the mountains because you'll get lost. It isn't summer yet, so it's all fine. We know the path, there's no need to worry about. The mountains have always been our playground, our backyard. We know all the secret paths and shortcuts.
Yes, both Sadako and Rika-chan knew the path like the back of their hands. Thanks to them, we had our fill of fresh air, gorgeous views, and Mother Nature, likes of which you could never see in the village. But things got strange partway through.
Oh, yes. Everyone, I have something to say. From here on, you must follow exactly where I go.
What? Huh? What are you talking about? All of a sudden,
It would be safer to do as Sadako says.
Sadako says, follow to this pit.
Oh my. Hey, Michan, look at this.
What is it?
Should I pull it? Should I?
Suddenly, squeak, crash. When Rena pulled the kite string, a bundle of bamboo spears fastened to a tree branch all came raining down, clattered right next to where Rena was standing. What? What? What is this? What?
Yeah! That brings back memories.
Rika, you sadistic! Sadako made this trap in the second semester of really second grade?
That was a close one. The tips of spears are covered in dog poop, so one of them hurts you, the wound will start to fester.
When did you turn into freaking Vietnam? According to Sadako and Rika-chan, earlier in the elementary school, Sadako had been on a trap making craze and set them all along every inch of this mountain. I love this song. It's my favorite song in the entire visual novel soundtrack.
Keiichi-kun, maybe? They didn't tell us not to go on the mountain because we'd get lost because it was dangerous?
Damn right. Mia and I both nodded wholeheartedly at Rena's hypothesis.
Come on now. We're in a hurry on ahead. If we do not return soon, it'll get dark. If it's dark, it might even become more dangerous for me.
But you're the one who brought us to this crazy mountain. Why was an average, healthy Japanese boy like me being forced to deal with life-threatening booby traps? And then, the Fire Nation attacked. The very moment Sadako and Rika-chan got just out of sight was when the three of us got caught in nice little traps together. Someone get me out of this! I have to go to the bathroom. Never mind that. Somebody get a bucket off me. I can't see in front of me. Wait, Rena, don't struggle so much. I can see your panties. How, you saw? You saw? Keiichi-kun, you saw? And the beating ensued. Smash, crash, smash, 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 crash, crash. Oh, of course you can see them.
You may be in the bucket, but you can definitely see.
Bucket Rena was using me as a sandbag, and Neon was crying.
You can't get out of the pitfall. How sad, how sad.
Jeez, didn't I already tell you all? You weren't supposed to leave my side. I finally had an epiphany. Sadako had been so bent on taking everyone out to the mountains because she wanted to brag about all the traps she set up here over the years. You know, boy, was there a lot. You could have stopped it at showing them to us. I didn't need to experience how it felt firsthand. Rika-chan pets our three heads in sequence in an incredibly satisfied mood. Well, that was traumatizing. And that will say. That was just chapter 1 of this part. Oh boy. Okay. Anyway, lunchtime has finally arrived. Neon gleefully announced the beginning of lunch.
Oh, ho, 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 lunchtime at last! Someone will have to play the punishment game, yes? How the punishment game this time? It's a little scary, so sorry, but Rena went all out on making her bento.
In Rena's case, I don't think she'd lose even if she wasn't taking it seriously.
Meep, we tried our hardest too. Sadako and Rika-chan made separate lunches today. Usually you have the same bento, but today won't do for the showdown today, will it?
Actually, I think they're going to be more alike than you think.
Yes, it's quite all right. Rika and I made sure to make separate ones.
I'm getting tongue-tied. I hate getting tongue-tied.
Well, Sadako, Rika-chan both tried really hard. How exciting! What a little surprising that Keiichi was able to make a bento. Good job, Kei-chan. It looks like you really can do it if you try.
I scratched my head and gave her a dry smile. My bento today had been made entirely by Sadako last night. It had none of my personality, so there wasn't anything in there that could be praised me for.
What does Keiichi's bento look like? How I can't wait to see.
Don't expect too much. It's just leftover rice and side dishes from last night.
Leftovers are the foundation of bentos. Ho ho ho! Now we'll know your dinner last night too. We'll kill two birds with one stone.
Wasn't it really better to hide the fact that Sadako came over and made dinner last night? Well, of course it was. If I revealed I didn't make my own bento, I'd be sure to end up playing the punishment game. I suspect she'll be playing it either way. Today's punishment game was to stand right in front of the curry maniac Chi Sensei and say bad things about curry. I don't think I need to go over why that's such a bad idea. It wasn't too different from telling someone to jump off a 100-story window. Yeah, that's a pretty good approximation. It was exactly the same as telling someone to die. Refresher, Shea Sensei is obsessed about curry as I am about video games, which is terrifying.
But me-chan, how do you decide who wins and loses the bento showdown? Keiichi could have made his own too, so maybe we should call it a draw for today?
Good old Rena trying to pull the loophole.
We could do that. The punishment game we had yesterday was sort of a whip to encourage Keiichi-san to cook for himself, after all.
That is true.
And Keiichi-san made his own too, so that's a draw.
My simple bento last night's leftovers could never have stood up to everyone else's bento that they made to win. I fully understand why Sadako and Rika-chan's concerned for me as they tried to end the showdown peacefully. I doubt Neon would ever say yes to that. However, the club president, Mion Sonozaki, would not be convinced by something like that. Case in point. That smirk, oh my god.
I wonder why you're all so optimistic. Leaving one of our showdowns in such a gray area is out of the question. Now that we've clashed, we must settle the score. Reconciling with the draw only happens in the Yakuza world.
I knew you'd say that. There's no way you'd end up it that way with your battle lust. This was bad. At this rate, I was sure to be the sole loser. But well, I didn't make this bento after all. Maybe I need to resign myself to the inevitable loss.
Okay, me. How are we going to decide who wins? It won't be fair to grade each other's. Let's do an open judgment. Okay, everyone. Assemble!
Mion's command, everyone who had just started eating using her club president voice.
Come and judge our 5 bento. Write your favorite 3 on a piece of paper and submit it.
Understand? Everyone in class was used to being dragged into Neon's club activities. Yeah! Come to the energetic voices from here and there. Everyone knew that the showdown this time involved an utterly fatal punishment game. And they were all very interested in what would happen to whoever lost. Of course, they wanted the thrill of seeing something terrifying. Okay, everyone, ready? Then I'll go first, all right? Ta-da! In exaggerated fashion, Neon pulled the lid off her multi-tiered, ornate bento box. Somehow, I don't think Neon's losing this match. Multiple tears of joy erupted as the brilliant sight. That's amazing! It's just New Year's food! It can't be. It has to be a lie. She must have switched the contest with a catered bento. Such a purely Japanese cooking. Neon Sonozaki couldn't possibly make this. Oh, yes, she could. Nope, this is easy for Michan if she gets serious. She just never gets serious, though. Oh, she gets serious a lot. We learned that in the prior arc. Just who do you think this old man is? Given enough time and ingredients, I can even reproduce Matcha Han Imperial Feast. She's not lying. The entire classroom gulped audibly. And everyone wrote down a score on the notepad in their hands simultaneously. It made sense. Just the visual impact would give her a perfect score. Alright, let's see Rena's next. Rena's really good at cooking too. Rena's bento is always like a flower arrangement. Thanks everyone. I'll reveal my bento now. Eee! Rena's bento was a beautiful mix of the two colors of eggs and minced meat, and it was a bento staple. The Soboro bento. She'd been thorough with the side dishes as well. They were abundant in number. She had spent more time than usual on it, but it was unassuming a truly nonchalant. One couldn't ignore the household warmth in that Miyon's bento lacked. If I may say, you've done it again. This should get quite a high score. I should have known. It may look rigid, but there isn't anything to deduct points from. Amazing as always. Once again, every one of the judges wrote a score on their note paper at the same time, as I continue to trip over my words. There seems to be some who were revising their opinions when they compared it to Neon's score, too. The whole classroom seemed split between Neon and Rena. On everyone's face, it was clear they all wanted to be tasting them rather than scoring them. Then we'll be next. Yes. Now I reveal mine! Come to think of it, Sadako and Rikichan ate with me last night at my house. It was impressive they still made a bento. Both their bentos were clearly lacking compared to Neon's artfulness and Rena's perfection. However, because of that, you could sense from them how hard they worked. The toppings were a little on the rough side, but you could still feel they tried their hardest. It made you feel a little biased, but you give them more points. A few people were struck just by that once again revised their opinions and wrote scores in their note paper. Sadako and Rikichan, you both made really good bentos today. They might not measure up to Rena or Mion's craftsmanship. When you think about it, they're pretty amazing. Sadako and Rikichan glanced at each other, grinning happily. This is a secret, okay? Mutter. Yeah? What? When Sadako told me I broke off from the others to look at my classmates' bento boxes, there, Tomita-kun and Komura-kun's bento boxes, I took a quick peek inside and, half the contents were missing. Not bad. In the end, Sadako and Rikichan hadn't made their bentos today. A bold move, they got Tomita-kun and Komura-kun to share their bentos with them. Hey, Tomita-kun and Komura-kun, how did they buy you out? What are you saying, Mabara-san? When did we get bought out for what? That's right. It's not like we traded them our duly watering the garden for half our bentos. Curse you, Sadako. What an impudent trick. Sadako grinned, showing her fang-like canines and laughed in triumph. Oh, this is only something I learned from you, Keiichi-san. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Yes. Oh, how naive buying them out with watering duty alone. They're men. If they're going to buy them out, you need to use something a lot more spicier than that. For example, giving them 3 tickets to walk Sadako and Miki-chan around like dogs all day, with them all fours wearing tails with leashes on their necks. What the would that might even get me to do anything? As I was lost in my wild fantasies, Neon clapped me on the shoulder and called me back to reality. Damn it, it was getting good. Alright, next up is K-chan's bento. We're all hoping for something pretty great because of your declaration yesterday, but how did it really turn out? Keiichi-kun, can you do if he needs to? Rena was really excited for today. Ugh, they're all looking forward to it. But it's really just leftovers from dinner last night. I didn't make it either. How was I supposed to stand up to me on a Rena and the others? That's it. Feast your eyes on this. Ha ha! And it bombed ever so horribly. I tore the lid off my bento box. There wasn't very many cheers. Well, I guess there would be, but ha ha ha! Keiichi-kun, you tried your hardest too. Rena can tell how hard you worked. Rena, don't feel like you need to compliment me. How did this happen? Was Keiichi-san actually a hard worker after all? Well, I want to acknowledge how hard you tried, but for this showdown, it doesn't matter. Mion's cold, mean laugh. It was like it spoke for everyone's opinions just like that. Keiichi-kun did really well considering it was his first challenge, you know. I think maybe everyone should rate his a little higher. Damn it, Rika. But for the showdown, it doesn't matter. All right, Kei-chan. You have any last words for telling up the results? I'll listen to them now. What do you mean, last words? I mean that you might be hoping for extra points and you feel somehow the crowd. After all, today's showdown, you need to avoid coming in last. If you do well enough, then maybe you'll be a bit more out of the punishment game. You're implying Keiichi-san's bento is going to take last place, aren't you? No, this old man's trying to say anyone's bento came in last or anything. Mion cackled repulsively. In contrast, Sadako's smile was growing somehow awkward. Oh, right. This bento was filled with last night's side dishes. That means it was basically a bento that Sadako had made. And Mion outright said he would come in last place. Mi-chan, aren't you being a little mean? Poor Keiichi-kun. Rena, Kei-chan knew if he couldn't lose today's bento showdown beforehand, didn't he? He did all this grandstanding yesterday and well aware of that. I don't think there's any reason to go easy on him, do you? Right, Sadako? Yes, you were right. And he came here with this mess. It makes me laugh. Wait, Sadako, you can't laugh at him. But that bento's just ridiculous. I can't help but laugh. These side dishes look like they were bought from a shop. It's really disillusioning. Look at this one taken out of can, wasn't it? The cucumber here isn't cut cleanly. It's like a knife didn't go all the way through. Kei-chan, you never used a knife, did you? Your lack of experience is apparent. No, that goes beyond a simple lack of experience. The presentation is very monotonous as well. It's almost a shock to see a lack of taste. It was my first experience putting food in a bento box, so of course it's not going to look too good. Kei-chan, there's a bigger problem with how you put it into the box. Tomita, Okamura, explain please. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were chosen from our many underclassmates. Tomita-kun quickly adjusted his glasses and stepped forward. The fatal flaw in Mabara-san's bento. It's the coloration. As you know, there are 3 primary colors forming on basis of all colors. So you want a well-balanced color scheme that excluding white and black, you need those 3 colors. And nevertheless, if you remove the white and black from Mabara's bento, all that would be is a dark green. None will want to eat it if you describe it like that. I'd forgotten. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun have been bought out by Rika-chan and Sadako, so they were trying their hardest to let them win and make me lose, weren't they? Yeah, what strong wills they have. It was charming if only because they were working so hard despite having been bought out. The side dishes have no spirit in them either. They're all prepackaged for canned food. In other words, out of the three necessary requirements for a bento, love, spirit, and taste, we can assert that Mabara-san's bento is lacking two of these. The class were convinced by the elucidation of the mysterious mystery they were thoroughly baffled with, raised their mysterious groans of admiration. It is really hard to say all that all at once. No heart and no spirit. It's decided then. Keiichi Barbara. This may sound cold, but if you realize how much fun cooking is because of this, Keiichi-san, Keiichi-kun, isn't that enough? In any case, everything's fun as long as I'm not doing the punishment game. Reno is giving a try. Smile as well. Oh, it's been settled, Keiichi-san. You're going to be the one doing the punishment game today. She laughed in such a mild manner, she didn't even look like she meant it. I knew Sadako was speaking ill of the bento that she's practically made herself in front of the whole classroom. I could tell how painful that laugh was. Okamura couldn't stand before that this bento lacked spirit. When of all the bento laid out today, there wasn't a single one with that as much spirit as this one. This meal that she made for me yesterday in such a good mood, though, looked like she was in a bad mood. I wouldn't let it end with this slander. Well then, last place, Keiichi-san, please admit your honest defeat already. Could you wait a moment? When I began to speak in a low voice, the expression of all the members of the club changed. Mion clicked her tongue. This man was bearing spanks at long last. My bento was defeated because it lacked spirit? That's how you explained it? Am I wrong, Okamura-kun? Okamura-kun, who had suddenly been placed in the spotlight, looked flustered for a moment, but immediately he stammered a reply that I was right. How do you measure spirit? By difficulty? By effort? By sweat or tears? By its manifestation? How would you rate these birds that they're still on my hands? Whoa, Keiichi-kun, those are oil birds. Great, the burn marks when I almost caused the fire yesterday looked just like I was having a ton of trouble cooking. I could clearly tell that the classroom was forced to acknowledge the effort I put in. I see. So to turn your failure in cooking due to lack of skill into scars of hard work instead. As I thought, I cannot falter around this man. That's right, I lack skill. I'm so bad at cooking, my grandstanding yesterday was painful. But I didn't run away. I fought. I delivered these results. Is that not spirit? What do you think? Randall wants to acknowledge, and nobody can keep on going if their defiant spirit doesn't get valued. The girls in the class are nodding in agreement. Okay, the tables are turned. But Mina-kun and Okamura-kun, bought out by the objects of their unrequited affection, weren't about to lose either. They shifted the counterattack, clearly exceeding the price they were paid. I see. I underestimated your feelings, Mabara-san. However, if the spirit was all that mattered in cooking, the world wouldn't need chefs. That's right, if a chef brought you a burnt steak and said they put their spirit into it and tried hard, would you pay them? You wouldn't, would you? It's the same thing. That's right, that's how it goes. The male students took Tomita and Okamura-kun's side. Yeah, they had a point. What about consideration? Even if you did get a totally black steak, if I knew how much the mother who made it struggled, I would still eat it. I would still eat it all. This time, the female students in class took my side. Good. Now we're even. Besides, if bentos refine one's love given form, it only means something when the other person feels that way. Does your bento make us feel that way, Mabara-san? No, it doesn't make me feel that way. You're mean! The girls in the class began to boo loudly at his remark. Now even Okamura-san was panicking. Order. Will the spectators please refrain from making remarks? Your Honor, in order to prove how much my spirit has gone into this bento, I call Miss Ryuga Rena, an authority on culinary arts, to the stand. When did this turn from a cooking showdown to a court? I have so many questions. Rena thinks this bento has spirit in it. It might be rather artless in places. But I think cooking isn't just about outward appearances. The girls in the class gave cries of support as they all applauded. In response, all the men in the class began to boo. Your Honor, The opinions of Mabara-san and Rika-san are extremely sentimental and are following with common sense. They are unsuitable to use as evidence. Order! Order! The prosecution objection is sustained. Go ahead. Ahem. Let's replace the bento in question with the birthday present, for example. Let's say on my birthday, I, Tamitas, received a hand-knitted sweater, and he, Okamura, received a bookstore gift certificate for 10,000 yen. That felt strangely real. Was it actually just an example? Common sense dictates which of them has the spirit. It is, of course, the hand-knitted sweater. If we went back to the bento, that would be handmade side dishes, and a gift certificate would be nothing more than money allowing you to buy things. In other words, it's the same as simple, meaningless canned goods. Boys and girls are beginning to argue amongst themselves about presents. They're all talking about how they received as presents in the past. Damn! Tamita-kun, he changed the subject so that could easily grab everyone's attention. Not bad. I'll lose the initiative at this rate. Objection! This matter regards spirits put into the bento. It's entirely different from birthday presents, as they are unique situations. Overruled! Will the prosecution please continue? Damn it! Now then, what's the important thing here is the fact that the spirit of the giver and spirit of the receiver are totally different. Between the handmade sweater that looks like a little bit askew and the 10,000 yen bookstore gift certificate placed before your very eyes, which we say is the better choice? The gift certificate, right? That's 10,000 yen, 10,000. How can you calculate how many comic books you could buy with that? You could easily complete a full dozen collection if it was around 10 volumes long. Dozens of happy, humorous, slightly perverted manga. Again, I agree with me on there. Very harshly. But that's not going to help Keiichi, is it? The boy unanimously praised with that applause. Cheerlistic brats. But all guys that age are like that. Even I would choose the gift certificate over a sweater in that case. Hey, wait, weren't you guys the ones who said it was about experience and taste right at the start? Since when did the taste trump all? I believe this is demonstrating the spirit of the giver and spirit of the receiver has no casual relationship, yes? No matter how much Mahabara struggles to make this bento, that cannot enter into consideration the rest of us on the receiving end who have to eat it. Mere sophistry, Tamita-kun! There's plenty of spirit. Whether it gets through or not is the receiver's problem. Oh my god, it's the consumerism issue of consumer versus developer. Or consumer versus corporation. Taste is most important enemy of women. What was that ugly? And now the courtroom was in chaos. But I can't allow myself to lose. Not only to avoid the punishment game, but also to protect Sadako's honor. Now then, do the defendants have a response to give? Drinking my water now. Slowly and strongly, I nodded and stepped up to the dais. There was a dais? Tamita-kun, Okamura-kun, do you two really think... Oh, crap. You can beat me with mere words? The prosecution just said we should value the gift without basing on the spirit of the giver. Correct? At some point I began speaking formally. Yes, that's right. No matter how much you labor to make that bento, that labor should not factor into our grading. Then I have a question for the prosecution. If I, Mahabara, were to take the bento I made for today and place it beside one bought from the store, with both of these given the same score? The prosecution hesitated to speak. Got you. That's right. A convenience store bento doesn't even come close to a homemade one, no matter how badly it is made. There's far more spirit than a bento you just bought would ever have. You see, that spirit is being graded, meaning the spirit the cook put in the bento has already reached the recipients. Admit it. This is a weird part of the visual novel. Oh my god. With those impactful words drawn into the air behind me, I point my finger. The girls, led by Rena, broke into applause. Some of the boys were admitting it too. I'll admit it. You admit it? You admit it, right? Then let's move on to why a convenience store bento has no spirit in it. What exactly is spirit in a bento in the first place? Objection! Abara-san, you're trying to deceive the court by using abstract expressions. Objection overruled. This sounds interesting, so listen until he's done. Got it. How did this visual novel stories contest go from cook-off with bentos to a goddamn court case? This is why I love Higarashi. The side story before the horrors is so damn entertaining. And crazy. God. Now I'll show you the two differences between us. Your Honor, I'd like to call Miss Rika Furude to the stand as a witness. Meep. Even for Rika-chan, the most must have seemed like a bolt from the blue. There's no doubt she'd never dreamed of the point of my spear being aimed at her. But Rika-chan, you said it before. For this showdown, it doesn't matter. Rika-chan Furude, your bento today, it was very well made. It looks delicious. Me? Yes. Sadaka and Rika-chan's bentos are made of half of Tomita-kun's and Okamura-kun's. The prosecutor's face turned pale, but they were too late. Rena, would you bring Okamura bento over here, please? Huh? Okay, sure. Your Honor, my bento has no relevance to this case. Overruled. Q. Your Honor, I submit to you Okamura-kun's bento box as evidence. Look at it. Look at what's inside. Q. There's only half in there. It's not about whether it's half, please. Look at the little more closely. See? They're exactly the same. Your Honor, I've seen it. Miss Rika Furude's bento is stolen from Okamura-kun's. There's no way such a thing could have spirit in it. No, that's just a coincidence. It's already obvious. Spirit, it's the game of cash between giver and receiver. The bento box, that is the ball. The bento was something Okamura-kun was given from mother to son. That means Okamura-kun is only one who can feel the spirit from this bento box. That has been disturbed and stolen, no longer has that spirit. Dun dun dun! Yay, that did it! Okay. Huh? What? Is that true? Rika-chan, is that true? Meep. Meep. I see how it is. Mion the judge folded her arms and began to hum. I couldn't even guess at what Mion was laughing about. Frankly, I didn't know whether I would win or lose. Okay, before announcing my judgment, I'll start from the top. The entire classroom quieted. First, from an objective standpoint, there is no doubt the bento of the accused, Keiichi Maebara, must be seen as poorly made. This is something that the grading results clearly displayed. Yeah! But as Kei-chan said, cooking is not all about taste. The spirit put into it should be considered subtle seasoning. For grading, though, that only amounts to a few points. It's so subtle that it's not enough to alter the results. Grr. Now then, I'd like to mention the original reason for today's bento showdown. What was the reason for it? That's right, we started to see whether the accused, Keiichi Maebara, could cook for himself and to measure the result. Yeah, that's right, Keiichi did make his own bento. That stung my conscience a bit, but for the showdown, it didn't matter. You sure about that one, Padme? Okay. Rena almost did kill Keiichi in one arc. Mion was proven to be actually innocent in the second arc, but her sister definitely was the killer. But who knows for this arc? Though Keiichi ended up being the killer for the first arc, so Yay. So the whole basis behind the showdown was cook a meal for yourself. In other words, whether or not the meal was homemade. Rika-chan neglected to do that is a much bigger problem than how good her bento is. In other words, she is disqualified. Nipa! Rika let out a Nipa, looking as though she had prepared herself for this outcome. Don't take it personally, Rika-chan. At our club, things like that don't matter. Keiichi did well, like I thought. You tried your hardest until the very end. Rika-chan demanded I lower my head and she petted. With that over with, this case is closed. Today, last place goes to Rika Frude! Whoa! That's a miraculous turnaround. Then again, I suspect considering the punishment game, Rika's probably the only one that would get away with doing that without it being a suicide mission. And last place went to Rika-chan, the one everyone had least expected. The whole classroom went wild. I'm amazed you managed to avoid coming in last place with such a terrible bento. Sadako looked at me hatefully, but spoke in a vague kind of voice. There's no way I'd come in last. There's nothing in that bento that deserved last place. But that's got ready-made side dishes and canned goods, had no style, and grab. Sadako was speaking more and more poorly of herself the time went on, so I roughly grabbed her head and began to stroke it. I told you, spirit is important. This bento isn't all about appearances, there's all kinds of flavors in it. But spirit isn't the only thing. It tastes totally weird and... What about it's weird? I thought it was great. It was absolutely great. That's why I packed it. If dinner last night had been bad, I would never have brought it to school. I would come here with some bread and milk cartons. But... Oh, just shut up already. I caressed her head and swing it from side to side. At some point, Ren had come up behind us. She was giggling to herself. That was the face of someone who had known everything from the start. When did you realize I hadn't made it? When you showed us your burns, I guess. I mean, there was nothing in your bento that needed oil for it. Ren-san, I didn't think you're misunderstanding something. I didn't do anything. Huh? Sadako, Chan, weren't you the one who made this bento? Then did Keiichi make it himself after all? Okay, I guess he did. Rena smiled roguishly and turned from Sadako to me. When you cut the cucumbers, did you hold the knife like this and go like this? As for the colors, can you express all sorts of things if you place vegetables in the right way? This lecture clearly was not meant for me. But you've gotten a lot better since then you showed us. Let's see, I see you've been studying. Keep this up, I bet you'll bake better and better dishes in no time. She knew saying words clearly meant for Sadako while facing me instead. Sadako was wearing an ambitious look and couldn't even nod her head. Anyway, no matter what anyone says, I like the way my bento is today. I'm not going to share it with anyone else either. I'll eat the whole thing by myself. Whoa, how greedy. Rena wants to try some too. As we were going back and forth, Sadako rubbed her head as though she was drowsy and then announced to me on everyone else. Excuse me, the truth is, I got Tomi-san to give me some of his bento, stupid. Hojo, what are you saying? If she kept it a secret, at least she would have had to be saved. Tomita-kun looked at her with an expression filled with regret and surprise. Huh? Is that true? Really? Oh my. Beyond spun her finger around and pointed to the hallway, sensing Sadako to the punishment game as well. Sadako left the classroom behind her, completely prepared as though she was going with Rika on an errand. I can't let Rika go alone. I'll accompany her to the very depths of hell. You don't need to go that far. My word, Keiichi-san really is terrible, too. Humiliating not only Rika like that, but he's truly a rotten person. I didn't mean... I couldn't just return Sadako's kindness with malice. Hey, Sadako really is silly. Rika, as John spoke as though only I could hear, grinning happily. Now then, let's be off, Rika. Punishment games are one of our duties as club members. Sadako seemed awfully happy, not frustrated in the slightest like she always was when she lost. Damn. Rika-chan's right after all. Everyone here is a moron. Neon, I'll come clean too. I didn't make my bento today. I was the same. So I'm going with them for the punishment game. Huh? Even you, K-chan? What's going on? Good luck. With the punishment game, I mean, I'll get the first aid kit ready. Call an ambulance in advance, will ya? And maybe a hearse just in case. Leaving a bewildered Neon and happily smiling Rena behind in the classroom, I went into the hallway. What are you doing? You finally won for once. I had no idea you had such an odd taste for these punishment games that you'd go so far as to volunteer yourself for one. Guess so. It's a little much of it's much it's a little much for a hobby, huh? I swear. I think you're underestimating this one. We're one thing, but you great part might actually befall you, Keiichi-san. Hope you're ready for one or two ribs broken. Oh, it sounds like it would hurt. I don't like getting hurt. Keiichi-san, you stand there and nod along, okay? I will smooth it over. I swear, I can't believe you. I have to look after you during a punishment game. Seriously. I knew she had her pouty behavior was a sign that she actually was in a good mood. So it made me want to smile. Hey, do you want to eat some special stir-fry, Sadako? Can you make that? What? Very well, there's nothing I can't do if I put my mind to it. She can make it very well. I really like Sadako's stir-fry. She was uneasy at first. Once she got her assurances from Rika-chan, she turned back and looked at me once more confident eyes. It's settled then. We'll go shopping for stuff after school today. I don't really have any idea what to buy after all. That is true, isn't it? I think it's still too early for you to go shopping in the supermarket, Keiichi-san. It made me anxious if I wasn't watching. And Sadako made me anxious when she'll buy the wrong thing if I'm not watching. Rika! Me! The conversation continued as we walked, until we arrived before the door to the teacher's lounge. All right, kids, time to pay the piper. Okay, let's get this punishment game over with and discuss the menu for tonight. Meep! Rika-chan gleefully grabbed onto my arm. In turn, I pulled Sadako to me, grabbing her shoulder with my other hand. We'll all be together in death. Oh, that line. Oh my god. I won't let anyone die alone. We're all together. I won't let anyone die alone. What an indiscreet thing to say. I want no part of something so disturbing. She may have sounded annoyed, but she was so happy it was going to make me blush. Alright, just beyond this door is a world after death. However, we shall return. All of us will. Yes, everyone will. Then we'll sally forth. Let us sally forth. Slam! We opened the doorway to the world of death. And like she did every day, just as the sun rose in the eastern sky, Chisan was eating curry for lunch. Oh boy, Chi-sensei. I still remember the stupid punishment game for Keiichi when he had to march into the principal's office in a maid outfit, cat ears, cat tail, and try to pat the principal's head, knowing full well that the principal was an ex-martial artist. It's that level stupid. It was store-bought, but she made the point of eating a different brand every day. Oh my god, we get a visual of the teacher for once! Holy crap! And she's actually kind of cute. Oh my Barakun, Furude-kun, and Hojo-san. Is something the matter? She appeared to be in the middle of a mouthful of supreme bliss, her mouthful of her beloved curry. And we were just to pick a fight with her. What a crime this punishment game would be. However, it was what we had to do. For that was the rule of our club. The three of us held each other's shoulders tightly once more. All right, let's do this. Ready? What do you mean, ready? Keiichi-san, you're gonna stay quiet? Rick and I will handle everything. And trust your life to me for now.
Go for it! Yay!
What are you all doing? We can see two or three question marks popping up above our teacher's head. All right, Sadako. This is the only time I'll trust you with my life, because I'm shutting my eyes tightly and only think about what we'll be having for dinner. I'm leaving it to you. Sadako inhaled deeply and so. Hey, you over there! You curry! I assume just put whatever swear word you want in those X's. I'm not saying it. Curry fuck, shit, whatever. Curry is shit. And that's the last words we ever saw from her. So what's the aftermath of shit talking Curry in front of the curry obsessed teacher? In the end, my selfish request was readily granted. As Sadako muttered complaints under her breath, quite merrily she came with me to the store. Rikichan didn't come with us. She said she had a thing she wanted to do or something. I believe her when she told me, but when I really thought about it, I started thinking she was being considerate towards Sadako in her own way. Without Rikichan there, Sadako was prouder and more loquacious. I actually finally learned a new word from this visual novel. Loquacious? I've never seen that word in there before. In anything else besides this exact thing. Do you understand? Supermarkets will put things on sale when it gets near closing time. For example, you can't have a stir fry without some pork. If you wait a little longer, it'll be marked half off. They can't sell feed and meat or fish once it's not fresh anymore. So they make it all cheaper and a less ditch effort not to have anything left over. Of course, every veteran housewife is familiar with this concept. Same with bachelor men like me that actually do this trick as well. When we get close to happy hour like we are now, I wasn't really listening to her, but she was telling me all that quite proudly. Every time I seemed surprised at something, or make an affirmative grunt at the place conversation, Sadako would say, "You didn't know anything, do you, Kaiichi-san?" And I smiled very happily in spite of her complaints. She led me by the hand to all sorts of stalls, and one after the other. She was in such a supreme mood, it was just being with her which cheered me up. Merely being pulled into Sadako's pace was a lot more fun. Hey, why don't you just go with the economy size pack? Whoa, those are really good looking ones with the cheese on it all over here. Keiichi-san, you have no financial sense. Look at this. It's over our budget. We don't have enough money. Sadako pushed a handful of receipts in my face. Why can't Sadako do these kinds of mental calculations when she's at school? Drat. Should we buy a load of the normal ones or just buy fewer of the better stuff with the cheese in it? This is quite troubling. Again, this is shopping 101 when you literally live on your own or with the occasional roommate, but you still have to cook for yourself. This happens every time I shop, where it's like, okay, what can I afford today? This is quite troubling. Calm down. For boys at your age, it's wiser to choose quantity over quality. Sadako, you're being too strict. Heck, if I want to buy and cook a steak, I usually see if there's anything on like the yellow tag discounts list first. Because then it's going to be steak that's like, yeah, it's going to expire in like a day or two, but at least I can cook it that night and have a pretty decent steak. I can understand that. No matter the size of the man's heart, his wallet won't get any bigger, I swear. Hey, stop putting the glass so stubbornly. After enjoying ourselves in exchange, we started to hear energetic voices coming over by the butcher we visited earlier. I could see a handful of housewives flooding the place. Yeah, that's pretty normal, especially at Walmart. Oh no! If we don't hurry, all the half-off pork will be gone. Oh, don't pull on me! Don't pull on me neck! Sadako really seemed like she was having fun. She looked like a kid who had grabbed her family's hand while running towards an amusement park attraction. In the end, the bag pork we obtained was so normal that it almost hurt, but I knew it tasted absolutely delicious. Yep, depending on the cook. The cicadas had come out at some point, and the Higarashi were singing in chorus. The air was so clear, it felt so good. Our silhouettes stretched out onto the ground, made a really wonderful picture. We filled our bicycle baskets to the brim with our shopping bags. It only contained ingredients and various other food stuff. Just so I realized the package sort of looked happy and made me feel happy in turn. Oh my goodness, it's already almost 3. Going shopping for dinner seemed pretty sensible. Makes you really enjoy your meals. I can't wait to eat. That's part of cooking for yourself as well. Dinner starts while you're shopping for it. I'm so excited for this. Vegetable stir fry is even on my mom's cookbook. I need special stir fry does sound really good. Huh. I'm gonna have to go. I do have to go grocery shopping today, so I'll probably be cutting the stream at about 3 o'clock so I can go do that and then cook dinner for myself. Oh well, especially since this visual novel is literally encouraging me to do that exact thing. I never get to eat it unless we go out on Chinese places, but I really am looking forward to it today. That's indeed a pity. Today I'll present you a especially tasty dish. Normally, right about now was the time I started messing with her, but I didn't. Yeah, I bet you'll end up making something really great. I'm looking forward to it. Um, uh, she stammered out for a second. In fact, I'm going to save right here. That's a good save. Sadako had prepared for me to start making fun of her right then too, and when it didn't come, she was surprised. Or maybe she stammered for some other reason, I don't know. But I immediately knew she wasn't feeling anything bad. Yes, I'll deliver an extraordinary, delectable dish. Better look forward to it. As Sadako and I rolled back on our bikes, I had a thought. Was I the sort of person, until now I would have lashed back at Sadako right away, but she did something, if she did something to me, but yeah, that was the kind of relationship we had. We'd poke each other a little, then kick up a storm while nitpicking at one another. At some point, that had changed. We were playing our usual tit for tat. I didn't provoke her, so we didn't fight. It went for Sadako, too. Sadako, who I thought I knew, hadn't been like this until now. Our relationship was changing little by little. If that's what it felt like. It wasn't something I had to worry about. It was like our relationship became a bit more happier, a little bit more charming. I wonder why we changed like that. Was she lonely and projecting her older brother Sadashi, who hasn't returned home, onto me? Rika-chan told me about that yesterday. That was probably exactly it. So as my actions drew closer to Sadashi, Sadako was returning how she had been when she was living happily with her brother. In other words, this Sadako was the real Sadako. Sadako had been able to see her brother again and then finally gone back to normal. Okay, Chi, that is a slippery slope. He already experienced this in another timeline. Interesting. Now that I've been playing the role of her brother, I discovered she really could smile so sweetly. But I wasn't Sadashi Kojo. I was Keishi Mabara, a totally different person. I couldn't become her brother. I could come close, but I could never really get there. That was vaguely somehow a little sad. I was wearing Sadashi's mantle, and that would have come off one day, and that doubtlessly put an end to this eager, nostalgic, peaceful time of Sadako's. A limited tranquility, a tranquility that would end one day. But in those terms, it was really sad. I shook my head verbally and drove off those pointless thoughts. What's the matter, Keiichi-san? Sorry, it's nothing. It's nothing, then please don't act all strange like that. It makes me worry when you might have eaten something rotten. Right, sorry, Sadako. Nagging like always, but she seemed really happy. That mood of hers drew me in and put a smile on my own face. Hey, Keiichi Marabara, why don't we quit thinking about having to end one day? If it will, just think about what happens. There's one thing, however, I could say for sure, though. As long as I smile like this, Sadako's own smile will never wane. As long as I stayed this way, this tranquility will never end. Sadashi would come back one day, too. That might happen a lot further away than I'd like, but until that day, what's wrong with me is being his replacement for him. Saying that I'm not her real brother, so I can't become Sadashi, that was just an excuse. If I just didn't run away, Sadako would stay happy and live a fun life of annoyed nitpicks. Oh boy. I just realized Casey's making the same mistake twice and doesn't know it. Oh well. I don't know what happened to Sadashi or what made him abandon Sadako and run away, but just seeing Sadako in such a good mood made me think I could persevere as long as I needed to. So this is what I thought. I would become Sadashi, I'd become a replacement brother. This is it. This is the kind of stir fry I was waiting for. It's great. Absolutely great. The salt, the pepper, the broth, man, I could eat an entire pot of this. Stop that, Casey-san. You're spilling food everywhere. The food isn't going to run away. You don't need to eat it so fast. No, it will run away. The best and freshest flavors are running away from the moment the meal is completed. If you were to make 100 delicious things, I'd have a duty test everything one of them. So just good manners to do. Your feelings are more than enough. So calm down and enjoy your food. You're right. I'm sorry. No insults here. I immediately scratched my head, then put down my chopsticks and laughed with her like it was funny. I ended up doing most of the eating. Sadako's barely taking a bite. She seemed satisfied just watching me enjoy the food so much. I filled my mouth with more of her delicious meal, and Sadako looked glad. That let me enjoy the food even more. And that way she kept smiling happily the whole time. Looking at her made me happy as well. Time passed softly and gently. Before I could have gone back and forth hurling insults to Sadako, in other words, we would have had gotten into a fight right away. I never known I could feel such peace of mind just by talking to her honestly like this. I was just a little bit happy of having discovered this new side of Sadako. For example, I was eating food that Sadako had made. There wasn't an inch of me that thought it was suspicious. Before, however, Sadako would have definitely put some trap into this. I think I ate too much. I'm going to take a dump. Hey, Keiichi-san, that's bad manners to say words during the meal. What should I say? I was just going to the bathroom. Toilet, lavatories. Sadako looked down, her face bright red, pointing to the hallway as if to say, just go already. It was my old habit to come back, but yeah, it wasn't all that bad either. No weird schemes, everything seemed just natural. After having such utterly unguarded thoughts, I went to the bathroom. Tug, my foot caught some string-like thing. Huh? Whoa! Kerslam lit. Oh boy. A kettle washed up Sadako! She got me, I can't believe it. She always does this when I let my guard down. I can't last for a minute around her. So it was kind of funny, I didn't feel like getting angry. Sadako laughed and purposely came over. See, I knew you'd fall for it sooner or later. Why, you little... I let my guard down for 1 second, this is what I get. I picked up the washcloths that hit me over the head and went to hit Sadako with them, but then doubled over the laughter that was welling within me. I couldn't manage it. I wish things would go on like this forever. It's not like I was having the most fun since coming to Hinozawa or anything. It was probably just the first time I spent most of my days so simply comfortable. It really wasn't worth much, but it's only a few hours after all. As an only child, this is my first taste of having a sibling. Just washing dishes with her felt really nice. Side to side, we watched to the experience. Sadako doing most of the work as I threw in appropriate words to add to the conversation. The scene was so commonplace yet mild and warm. Maybe I'd felt this kind of warmth before too in the past. I think I stood next to the sink with my mother like this when I was little. Made me feel nostalgic when I remembered it. Same sort of slow, easy time, it was tranquil. Such quiet tranquility, but that fact that I wasn't uneasy about anything itself made me uneasy. Hey, wait, Keiichi Marbara. You feel uneasy about something just from spending time so leisurely? Something all to feel uneasy about. I mean, why would I punish for enjoying a gentle life? I'll do anything to keep these days going. I would never do anything bad no matter what. I work hard for it, endure much more of it. So, God, it's not much of a dream I want this kind of thing to keep going, but I can't be granted. Oh? Is that not the telephone? Who could it be at this hour? Oh, you're right. I hadn't noticed until she mentioned it. I heard her stand up and ran to the phone. Who could be at a time like this? I did feel a little like the phone had interrupted my happy moment. I still wanted to brag about how happy the time I spent made me, no matter who it was on the other side. Hello, this is Mabara speaking. Hello? Keiichi, it's your mother. Oh, hello, Mom. What is it? It's pretty late. It's a little cold for me since she was only calling because she was worried about her son. I can only give myself a dry smile. Sounds like you're doing fine for yourself. I was worried that you could make dinner and went to bed early, hungry. No, it worked out. Did you make dinner properly? What did you have tonight? It was a vegetable stir-fried miso soup. Lost stuff for it at the supermarket plus the whole bunch of side dishes just for fun. Oh yeah, listen to this. I got the pork during a sale and got it half off. The thing the housewife knows, right? And also, all that was thanks to Sadako and not something I should be proud of. I still can't help but boast about the dinner tonight. It seemed like Mom got the hint I was really in a good mood. I see. Certainly that you're doing just fine. Oh, another thing. Your dad and I finished with our job. Well, we think we'll be back tomorrow afternoon or evening. Oh, I see. You did well for 2 nights. Been pulling all-nighters too. It's just a lot of work. We managed to fill the gap in your mentor's event. Cool, that's good. Well done. Why did your parents come home so? Why did my parents coming home seem so disappointing? I knew a little bit of the reason, of course. This trick only would never end was about to end so readily, and it was painful. Oh, it's just bad. Okay. Haven't finished cleaning up her trap. At first, Annika was in a good mood, but when she saw me putting down the receiver and then a certain expression, her own clouded over a bit. It seemed like she got the gist of my phone conversation had been about. Was that your parents, Keiichi-kun? Okay, save. I thought I hit save. What is going? Did that actually do the thing? No, it did not. There we go. Was that your parents, Keiichi-san? Yeah, Mom says they'll be back tomorrow. Oh, that's good. Then I won't have to go through the trouble making dinner tomorrow. Yeah, I can enjoy a meal with just your family. No, that's not it. When I was thinking about adult plain dinner coming back tomorrow, it's just a little lonely. You sure do live in luxury. Family sitting around the dinner table is the most fun way to enjoy a meal of all. Her brother saw as she ran away from home came to mind immediately. But then there was no gloom in the way she said it. It's only for 2 days, but they were really enjoyable dinners. Well then, next time I'll go to your house to visit. Huh? Sadako momentarily made me happy, but then a second later changed the expression to surprise. My house is small and it's dirty, and the kitchen isn't a good one. This one, as good as this one. Well, I don't mind. Well, if you don't want to, then I won't. Sadako shook her head firmly, her body expressing denial. I gotta get you to teach me a whole bunch more stuff too. I finally managed to figure out how to use rice cooker, and I'll cook me some soup after all. That's right, isn't it? Perhaps you should use this opportunity to have learn more about cooking. It was so like Sadako take his chance to proclaim it was all for my sake. There's no way concealing her own enthusiasm. It was true that this gentle time would come to an end when my parents got back. There's no need to lament it, though. I could easily put my effort to continue our mild moments like this. Like yesterday, Sadako told me she didn't need to be escorted home, but Rika wasn't with her tonight, so she was getting home by herself. Everyone knew everyone else's face here in Inawazawa, so it wasn't like it was dangerous to go out at night, but it still wasn't good to send a girl on her way all alone. At the very least, that's what I thought as Sadako's older brother. I'll take you as far as the school at least. There's more light over that direction anyway. It's really fine, all right. If someone bad shows up, I'll just take them with one finger. There's no point in pressing her any more than the subject, so I took a handful of Sadako's hair and rubbed her head vigorously. Come on, Sadako, don't complain so much. Your Nini will bring your part away. That's what I was saying. About to say when I suddenly got embarrassed as my voice trailed off. Nini can only be the nickname Sadako gave to her older brother and nothing else. I was going to use it pretty lightly, so I started with a feel apologetic and a little ashamed. Nini? Huh? What did Sadako just say? Well, Keiichi-san just seemed like an older brother. That is what I said. It's not quite right, but he seemed kind of like, so I just. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Sadako laughed awkwardly and turned red in the face. Of course, I was embarrassed when I saw her too, because the fact I was trying to act like her brother had gotten across. A warm smile spread out from her chest. It was completely different from the romantic feelings or anything more impatient emotions. It was more like graceful, quiet, warm, and calm. Sadako still needed her Nini. I initially thought Rika was just being sly about not coming today. When I thought about it like this, I could feel a kind of thoughtfulness of her worrying about her good friend's feelings. Maybe Rika-chan had understood that she couldn't play the part of her brother herself. So then, now let's stop there, Casey Barbara. There's no point in thinking about it so hard. It means everyone feels the same way. It means everyone wants Sadako to be happy. Sadako's acting as though her running away from her home didn't bother her at all. Even though it wasn't actually the case, she was very sad, always waiting for him to come home. Because Sadako was a stable person when she was his sister. In order for her to really be this level-headed, having a brother was something she couldn't do without. In other words, Sadako still needed a brother. Nobody had the right to smile it away as childish immaturity. In fact, they deserve praise for being so close to each other as siblings. That role of brother should be played by a real Nini, but by Satoshi, but unfortunately he wasn't here. So since I'm here, I'll play the part. And not with guilty conscience, but in a very natural way, because was there something wrong with seeing Sadako smile so happily? Was Keiichi-san, you've been smirking for quite a while now. Is it weird for me to look happy? Is it weird for anything? But well, the sound of motor on her bike leg was loud, and I couldn't hear what Sadako said. Huh? What? What did you say? Nothing. You're really just like Nini, you know. Keiichi-san. Is that right? Of course, you're completely different from a real Nini, but like, there's some things that you do the same. It's like really a mystery. The same? Do you feel lonely when you remember Nini? Once I said that, I thought for a moment that I was absolutely wrong to say, but Sadako didn't seem to mind one bit. It's not that I'm lonely, since Keiichi's been my Nini for me right now. As I flustered for a moment at her hitting the mark, Sadako suddenly asked me a question in a calm voice. It was very calm, quiet, composed, adult question. Was it Rika? It was quiet, but her voice sounded lonely somehow. Didn't Rika tell you to act like my Nini for me? Is that what you think? Please don't take offense. Rika is strangely considerate of me. It really doesn't bother me that much. I could see that for sure at least was a lie. Yesterday and today, Sadako had been so happy spending time like this with me as a siblings. And that was proof in itself that she was lying about it and not getting to her. So I gave Sadako a light poke on the head. You're thinking too much, dummy. I'm me, Teichi Mahabara. I'm not your Nini, not Satoshi Hojo. I know that. Despite her saying that, her expression seemed a little lonesome. At this point, Sadako herself had realized her question had been the wrong thing to say. We don't need to keep talking about something like that, Sadako regretted. So in order to cut the conversation short, I grabbed Sadako's hand and bent her. Let's not talk about silly things like that. It's just getting late. Let's get back home, brush your teeth, go to bed. Catch your mouth before you're sleeping, too. It'll keep you from getting cold. You're the one to talk, Nini. Be sure to brush your teeth, okay? Get some milk, wash your hands, get your books ready tomorrow, and what kind of siblings Sadako and Satoshi were. I've never seen them together, but I could say without doubt they were really close. And for the way in which they were close, it was probably quite like this. It was so cool that the day's heat somehow seemed like a lie, the moonlight was somehow faintly warm. The quiet chorus of the insects were pleasing to the ears. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna save here. Save. Uh, oh crap, I'm credit to the tips. Oh well, guess I'm hitting it here. Oh well. Mhm. Alright, we'll call it here. Yeah. Have a nice day, guys.